Welcome to the Blitz. On today's episode, we'll be joined by offensive guard Steve Green to talk about our 24-17 victory over the Buffalo Bulls. And cornerback Dwayne Gratz will be on to look ahead to our Big East opener against Rutgers next week. On Coach's Corner, we'll be joined by head coach Paul Pasqualoni as he answers questions from you, the fans, and defensive line coach Hank Hughes will be on, as well as the voice of the Huskies, Joe D'Ambrosio, to give us his insight on the season. So thanks for tuning in, and now, the Blitz. Welcome to Coach's Corner with Coach P. Thanks so much for joining us today, Coach.
Well, it's nice to be here again.
All right, now coming off that 24-17 win over Buffalo, looking to go into the rest of the season 3-2. Can you give us some insight into that win over Buffalo?
Well, it was a game I thought that we came out offensively and started pretty fast. Our first three possessions, we scored 17 points, which was great. We hadn't really done that yet this year, and that was kind of an emphasis going into this game. I thought the drive our offense put together in the second half to make the score 24-7 was really a good drive. The culmination of it was an excellently executed play on the goal line. And then we kind of made them play catch-up. So we went a little bit more conservative at the end of the game, feeling that we didn't want to put our defense into poor field position, and very excited to get the win. I thought Buffalo played very hard in the game.
And in a great position to look ahead going into Rutgers.
Absolutely.
All right, our fans got pretty creative this week. We've got some good questions for you. You ready to go?
Ready to go.
All right, let's take a look.
Hi, my name is Ronnie Balzano. I'm a junior here at the University of Connecticut. And Coach Pasqualoni, I was just wondering, what are your expectations for next Saturday's game against rival Rutgers?
Well, Ron, our expectations are always high here at the University of Connecticut, and I think when you play in Division I athletics, they're going to be high. The expectations of the players are high. The coaches are high, the fans are high. So we're going to go down to New Jersey, expect a very tough game, and expect to play very well.
An exciting backyard brawl coming up.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at the next question.
I'm David Cornell from Stafford Springs, Connecticut. If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
Any superpower? Wow, that's a great question. In my chosen career here as a coach, if I had a power, that would be to be able to predict how the team is going to play before the game starts. That would be something that would be very useful in coaching.
Get a little extra head up on the opponent. All right, let's take a look at the last question.
Hi, I'm Danny. I'm a freshman from New Jersey, and I was wondering, as a coach, what was the toughest stadium for your teams to ever play at?
Well, that's a great question. We've been in a lot of tough stadiums. I always thought that playing at West Virginia at Mountaineer Stadium was a pretty hard place to play. Passionate fans, very excited fans. So I would have to say, from a college standpoint, it probably would be West Virginia.
All right, great. Thanks a lot. Thanks so much for being here today, Coach.
Thanks.
All right, Husky fans, if you have any questions that you want Coach P to answer, make sure you look out for the Huskies All-Access crew around campus and at games to get your questions submitted and answered here on Coach's Corner. Joining us now is the voice of the Huskies, Joe D'Ambrosio. Thanks for being here today, Joe.
Always good to see you, Emily. Always nice to be on the Blitz.
All right, now coming off a 24-17 victory over Buffalo, we talked to Coach P about how they wanted to get off strong and then make Buffalo play catch-up. Can you talk a little bit about the strategy we saw from them this weekend?
Well, I think I can say that most of the fans didn't like it, the part about holding on for dear life at the end. And I think that's a little bit of a concern going into Big East play, Emily. I think obviously you want to be able to finish games as well as start them strong. And the finish wasn't that strong. But as Don Brown told us Tuesday when I had a chance to talk to him, the defense had the game in their hands to win, and they won it. So that's a good sign, I think, going into Big East play.
And next up, we do open up Big East play against Rutgers. They're 4-0 with a really strong offensive threat. a tough road game. What do we need to see out of these guys this week in order to make sure we can win 2 in a row?
Well, I think a lack of mental mistakes. You can't turn the ball over. You can't give them the ball deep in UConn territory. I think a quick start would help because the place is going to be packed. Everybody's going to dress in black. They're doing this blackout thing for a school whose colors are red and white. I don't quite understand that. But UConn's first Big East game, Rutgers has already played a Big East game. They won at South Florida. I think you have to be intense from the start. I have to think you show them you can run the ball and that you can pass the ball. And I think if the defense can turn over Gary Nova at some point early in the game, try to take the crowd out of it a little bit, I think that'll certainly enhance UConn's chances to pull off the upset.
And an upset would be so exciting. As we know, there's no love lost
None.
between these two schools. Can you put into words what it is that makes this rivalry so deep?
Well, just think Jersey Shore, Em. I mean, it's the whole proximity of it. You know, I think UConn coming into the Big East in 04, beating Rutgers in that first season in conference to qualify for a bowl game, UConn getting to a BCS bowl while Rutgers has not. And I think there was a little intensity between Coach Etzel and Coach Schiano, and for the first time in the rivalry, neither of those coaches will be on the sideline. So that I think the rivalry between the coaches added to it quite a bit.
And touching on that a little bit, let's dig a little bit deeper into that. Last year was Coach P's first year. Now we have Coach Flood's first year. Can you talk about, after hearing from him today in the press conference, how you see these two coaches playing into this game?
Well, I think Coach Flood came across terrifically well. Now, we didn't have much of a chance to talk to Coach Schiano in the Tuesday conference calls over the last few years. Kyle Flood was very engaging. He spoke highly of Don Brown, who he's coached against at many different levels when Flood was an offensive coordinator or the assistant head coach for the offense. I think the coaches have a great deal of respect for themselves. I'm not sure the coaches had previously in that situation. And don't forget, Coach Pasqualoni against Rutgers between Syracuse and UConn is 13-2. So he has a history of success against them. Now the coaches will tell you all that gets thrown out the window when the teams play. But I think UConn feels that if they win this game and they have a good chance to win, that could set them off to a pretty good season in the Big East. A loss, a lot of people would say back to the drawing board.
Certainly. Well, we're definitely looking forward for win number 2 in a row. Thanks so much for being here today, Jeff.
My pleasure, Emily.
Joining us now on Coach's Corner is assistant head coach and defensive line coach Hank Hughes. Happy to have you here today. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Emily.
All right, now looking back at our win against Buffalo, except for a few trick plays that they pulled out of their sleeve every once in a while, the Husky defense seemed like they were pretty in control. What did you see out of your guys that you liked?
I thought we played well. I thought we played hard. Certainly there's some things that got out on us, where we have to play a little bit better on a couple of plays, but I think we played a solid football game.
And looking at your position in particular, you have had some injuries on the D-line, having some younger guys step into new roles. How have you seen them fill those shoes, and how pleased are you with your current state of your line right now?
I feel real good about who we have in there now. Angelo Pruitt stepped up and done a good job. We have some young guys that have all stepped up, and I think we still have some depth in there. Certainly getting Shamar Stephan back has been an addition. We had him out early in the year, and losing Teddy and Jesse has not helped the depth at the end position, but being able to move Angelo out there has been a positive for us.
All right, and looking ahead to Rutgers, an undefeated team with a running back who breaks 100 yards each game, a quarterback with a great arm. What are the keys in shutting down this explosive offense?
Well, they're very strong running the football, and they also have excellent receivers. Their quarterback does a great job getting the ball to the receivers, and they've really kind of picked up their offense each week. And advance against Arkansas, they put up over 500 yards of offense, so they're very explosive, and they're really strong in all facets of the game.
All right, and now this game is probably one of the biggest rivalry games of the season, with the two schools being so close in location, always great games. Being in your 12th year here at UConn, you've seen this rivalry grow. Can you talk about what it is that just gets everybody's motor running for this game?
Well, I think proximity is part of it, and being in a conference team and the location of the two teams, and we've had very close games. I remember, several years ago seeing Coach Schiano out one time at a recruiting function. He said these games have been so close between both teams, and I think that's part of it. I think in the 10 games we've played, there have been 5 wins for UConn and 5 for Rutgers.
And they've all been within a touchdown or less. Certainly a fun rivalry for our fans to get involved in. And looking ahead to that game, how confident are you in our team coming off this win over Buffalo to go full steam ahead?
Oh, yeah, we're excited. We're looking forward to getting down there and getting a chance to play against Rutgers.
All right, great. Well, thanks so much for joining us on the show today, Coach, giving us some insight.
Thank you, Emily.
All right, Husky fans, now let's take a look back at highlights from the Huskies' win over the Buffalo Bulls.
Drops back, halftime, look, throws upfield in the direction of Williams. Scott! Williams to the left, quick count. They give it to McCombs, picks his way off the left side, then darts into the open field, cuts it left to the 20-inch. Huskies blitz, lobs upfield for Newts. He's open and tipped away by Gratz. Whitmer out of his own end zone, lobs it upfield, looks wide open. Fakes, looks, throws, he's got McCombs, blocker in front of him, gets the first down at the 45 to the 40. Play action. Whitmer over the middle, wide open Griffin, 15-10, 5 dives, touchdown! Toss, sweep, hip line, lots of blockers in front of him, cuts outside, up the sideline, foot race to the end zone, and hip line, and he's in! Right to left, they fake to him. Seal, Moore hits Sortage, he throws, and it's intercepted! Picked off by Tymier Brown by Campbell, and Yahwood Smallwood sheds the blocker. Looks, lobs it out, wide open Davis, he's got run to the left. Jory Johnson hits him in the backfield. Right, Whitmer drops back, looks, goes on here. He's got one quick count. Rolling to the right is Whitmer. Naked bootleg, throws, he's got Dillon open at that 18-yard line. Snap, gives to McComb, goes right, he slides in. Handed off on a counter to Murray. Johnson drops him for a loss. Back at the 25th. Looks over the middle, it's caught and drilled to the ground.
Joining us now is redshirt junior guard Steve Green. Thanks so much for being here today, Steve.
Pleasure to be here.
Now, in the last couple of games, we've really seen the O-line step up, giving Chandler plenty of time in the pocket. Our running backs rushing for 100 yards these last few games. What have you seen develop over the course of this season to get to where we are now?
I think the biggest thing is chemistry. It took us a couple games to get going, get everything in flow, but now we can see that we're just playing a lot harder, finishing all the blocks, and just doing what we need to do to give our running back and our quarterbacks time and space to make things happen down the field.
And in our game against Buffalo, we saw Martin Hippolyte run for that 50-yard touchdown. Great blocks by Kevin Friend and Lyle. Can you talk about how exciting that was for you guys to see him get down the field?
Well, I mean, that's something that we've worked, like we knew that going into the game. That was a look we were going to see. That's why we went with that play. And I mean, it's just nice to come out and see the perfect execution of the play and like the results that you get from it. So it was great. It was great to see Martin get his first touchdown. It was good.
Definitely an exciting play. Now, with Chandler throwing for 227 yards, touchdowns to Ryan Griffin, Martin Hippolyte, and Lyle McCombs, the offense seems to really be gelling. How have you seen the confidence grow throughout this season?
I think really every game it's just gotten progressive. We were able to do new things, able to open up the offense, especially when we have both of those elements of run and pass, that it just makes everything easier for us.
And looking at the other side of the ball, our defense was pretty consistent against Buffalo. Obviously, they had a couple of those trick plays that allowed them to rack up 17 points. But going up against them every single day, what do you see out of these guys that make them so strong?
I mean, they're just unbelievable competitors. They go hard every play, every snap, every down in practice even, and it's great for us because our defense is one of the best defenses we'll see all year, so it only makes us better.
All right, now you make all the calls on the line, the quarterback of the O-line. Can you share some insight on what it's like on that line as soon as you guys get set up and what it's like to have that responsibility?
I mean, it's a responsibility I embrace. I feel more comfortable with it being on me because then I know that it's being done rather than somewhere else. Just going up there, you've got to be able to diagnose everything, see everything, find the mic backer, find the alignments, find the cues of their blitzes and stuff. And I mean, it takes some time to get used to, but once you start doing it, it just becomes second nature.
Well, it certainly has been exciting for us to see you guys develop each and every game, and we're looking forward to much more out of you guys as the season goes on. Thanks so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, fans, now let's take a look ahead to our next opponent, the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Now let's welcome to the show redshirt senior cornerback Dwayne Gratz, who had 4 tackles and a breakup in our win against Buffalo. Thanks for being here today, Dwayne.
Happy to be here.
All right, looking at our next opponent, Rutgers, they're 4-0, ranked 22nd in the nation. Their running back, Jawan Jamison, has broken 100 yards rushing every game this season. Quarterback Gary Nova threw nearly 400 yards in their last game against Arkansas. What do we need to see out of our defense this week in order to shut down that explosive offense?
We just need to see the same thing that we have been doing for the first 4 games of the season, and I don't think we really need to worry about what they're doing, but what we're doing. So, we're just going to keep doing what we have to do and to the best of our ability, and hopefully pay off in the long run.
And looking at the Rutgers defense, they've kept opponents to an average of just 13 points a game and 64 rushing yards. Seeing the production out of our offense grow each and every week, how much more confidence do you have in them as they take on Rutgers?
Well, I always had confidence in our offense, and it means a lot. It means a lot to the whole team that they're actually coming together as an offense and as a unit, and performing well. So we're just gonna let them do what they have to do, and hopefully we come out with this W.
Now, you're a Jersey guy from Piscataway itself, but you've had Connecticut on the front of your jersey for the last 4 years. It's no secret that this is the easiest game for UConn to get pumped up about. What is it about the Rutgers-UConn game that elicits this kind of excitement?
Well, first off, it's our rivalry game, and the rest of the team knows how much the players from New Jersey hates Rutgers, and it just rubs off on them and gives them a little more motivation, and it just creates a little more fire in their eyes, and they just come out flying around and excited to be there for us.
And now we beat them 40-22 last year at home, but in the 3 years before that, we lost by a combined 9 points in 3 games. How ready are you guys to go out there and get 2 in a row against these guys?
Right now, it really doesn't matter who our opponent will be. Just right now, we've been on a 1-loss, 1-win roller coaster. We're just trying to hop off that and build a little momentum going into the rest of the season.
Well, I know Husky Nation is really excited to see you guys go for win number 2. Thanks so much for being here today, Dwayne.
You're welcome. It was nice to be here.
All right, UConn will take on Rutgers Saturday, October 6th at noon. You can watch the game on ESPN.
No. Get in your cars, drive down to New Jersey, and come support the UConn Huskies.
That's even better. You heard it here from Dwayne Gratz. Get in your car, come down to Rutgers. Otherwise, you can catch it on ESPNU or News Talk 1080. Thanks for tuning in to The Blitz. I'm Emily Noonan for Huskies All Access. We'll see you out there.